Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to episode 139 of the Terminus podcast for the weeks of April 11th. Shut up. It's take 2, okay? It's April 11th, 2020. This is the first podcast in the month of 420, which has been ruined by the coronavirus. I am your host, Ellis Tamelio, otherwise known as the Admiral. Speaking of which, I ran into another Ellis in Rocket League today. I had to show him what for. With me, my engineer is Brett Wiebold. My firemen are TJ Sakosio and Jared Cole. Returning as our brakeman is Bradley Duncan, otherwise known as Eins. It's been a while since we've had you on the show. And it's been a while since we've seen each other too, so, try to get up here next summer, why don't you?
Well,
anyway.
We do our annual trip every year, but this year we're going to White Creek.
Well, next year. Next year go to White Mountains.
Well, actually, next year I think I'm spending a week. I'm going to go out to California and end up running around with Jared here.
West, the man said.
Wait a minute. No, we got dibs on him.
Well, I plan on spending I get 2 weeks vacation starting next year. 1 week I'm planning on going to California to see the California State Railroad Museum because they have.
All right, we'll cover this in the next section.
Right.
And before we get to that section, the trade will terminate at this station.
Wait, I want to get off!
Okay, this week we are in the Gary's Mod, in the desert, in the gulch of the sunset. Yeah,
what does that have to do with... Anyway.
I don't know, it's in the desert.
Okay, we only have one crash for the Class 1 Manual of Responsibility. That's concerning.
Gee Willikers, what would that be, Alice?
It took me a minute to figure out what the hell you were saying. That was the NSF on April 2nd. No, this is not an April Fool's joke. It came a day late. And also came off the tracks.
Was it a train of whoopee cushions?
Actually, no. You know what? It didn't come off the tracks. They plowed into an Amazon delivery van.
Oh, yeah, that one! That was going around in my group.
Yeah.
Was that full of whoopee cushions?
I'm not sure.
No, I think it was full of,
toilet paper.
It was either that, or I think somebody in a Facebook group I saw actually had train parts on that truck.
Ironic.
Ironic.
And to compound the irony, the train was filled with grain, actually. That's not ironic at all.
Well, that's boring.
The train crew spotted the delivery truck, sounded the horn, and pulled the emergency brakes. The train crashed into the vehicle. The Amazon truck spun 180 degrees. They really just lopped off the tip. I think the driver was fine. Oh, yeah, the driver was fine. He was out walking around. Well,
Stop for a smoke.
Modern crash safety standards and all that. Anyway, what have we done in the past couple of weeks? I actually touched Tollbrent for the first time in a while because Chris got a new computer and he wanted routes. And I just popped out a new CDP of it, and I found out that there are some assets that were built in that are no longer built in or no longer available, or that are payware now, and that's kind of frustrating. Because now some people can't get all the assets, and I'm gonna have to go change some stuff.
That is annoying.
Yeah.
Yes.
But that's like all I've done.
Yes, very annoying.
Yes.
Yes, I do say that's very annoying.
And that's why I play Gary's Mod.
Yeah, so what have you been doing then?
Yeah, because Gary's Mod is a game that's not always broken.
Yeah, totally. Well, even though I semi-retire so much because I work a lot of hours.
Hey, adulthood's a bitch.
There it is.
Yeah, adulting sucks.
But that's why I do G-Scale Railroad. Because that's totally not expensive and a hazard to my wallet.
Tell us about your greatest deals.
greatest
Why
deal-
will- on right
Weibel's
now.
on the good end of the
Like
stick. He gets paid to do it.
The one that we're working on right now. Yeah, why else? Yeah.
Yeah, because the Colorado Railroad Museum, you've got that G-scale operation there. I follow the guy who runs a lot of your trains.
Yeah,
over
that's
there.
the one he likes to run.
Yeah. Wait a minute. Why, speaking of Gary's mod, why would I wanted to tell you something? I thought of something.
Uh-oh.
If you were
Oh,
ever,
no.
I don't know if you did this the first time. If you were ever to rebuild the pay streak, your end
Yes.
car has to be one of those dumb observation cars with the door.
Yes, with the door. No. The whole train needs to be those.
Why
Because it's not dumb as a tail end car. It's dumb at not being a tail end car.
I mean, it is dumb as a tail end car, though.
It just needs to be a car somewhere midway through the train.
Yeah, why do they do that?
Because
We had-
Rio Grande.
We had a significant discussion on why did they do this, and the answer is because they could.
You know,
Because they're cheap.
But the roundy butt observation, it goes on the back.
nobody ever accused the Rio Grande of being smart.
I mean, the Rio Grande was quite crafty.
They were very
They were
creative.
They were the redneck railroad of class. Have you seen what they did during diesel operations? They literally grabbed whatever they could find in the yard for a
Seen
powertrain.
Seen it, I've lived it. Not that, but you know.
Well, no, I'm talking like there's photos of
nowhere.
SWs and Jeeps all piled up, like 14 on the front of a freight train,
You forgot the B units, but yes.
and the B units too. But
I mean,
as I said, nobody ever accused the Rio Grande of being smart, but they're crafty. That's for sure.
yeah. Too clever for their own good.
Yeah, well.
Now that makes me think. What the heck? Oh, I know we weren't recording it, so I felt it might be appropriate
I
to
might
bring it up.
I might take the chunk about locomotive versus and just slip it in somewhere.
Well, no, I'm more talking about the.
What,
how
you
the
recorded
heck
that, Beth?
Yeah.
How did sunk locomotives come up? Is what I'm trying to express.
Okay. So
Well,
why would we?
because in 3 days from now
Oh shit,
Yeah.
that's right.
will be the anniversary. It'll be April 14th, which, what is that, 108 years ago now? The Titanic will have sunk.
Yeah.
Although, granted, it will strike the iceberg. It didn't sink until like 2 a.m. on the 15th, but details.
Yeah.
Details, schmetails.
So we're currently debating for Locomotive Versus if we want to do various sunken locomotives of the world in honor of that, or per Einz's request, do the Pershing locomotive that used to run on the Texas State versus, I think, Southern 630
Well,
is
she
what we
still
decided.
runs, but she's under rebuild due to some running gear work. But we'll get into that on the news segment. I haven't. I know most of that from the Laro charter.
Anyway, what I don't understand is you guys actually have stuff written down under this trackside tales thing. How have any of you accomplished anything? We literally have. I don't know about you guys. I haven't left my desk since the last podcast.
I mean, there's plenty of stuff.
well,
to
I'm
do
an
there.
essential worker. That's
I mean,
why.
yeah, it's all on my computer, so.
I'm an
Oh, that's
essential
fair.
worker, so I work at the paper mill. So all the toilet paper shortage. We make all the boxes they ship those in.
Thank you.
Technically, I'm essential too, quote unquote.
Yeah. Technically.
Yeah, me too, quote unquote.
Well, bear in mind, I'm the one
Big
who has to
inverto commas around that.
bear in mind, I'm the one who has to fix those machines, and that's why I don't like German engineering.
Well, the Germans don't like you.
Oh, I know. Well, that's ironic because I'm blonde hair, blue eyes.
Well,
Yeah.
details.
That's a fad.
Oh, yeah, true.
Details.
And if we're living
But-
in 1912 today,
I'm surprised the Titanic never
We're in
came.
19. Yep.
I'm surprised the Titanic didn't come to Louisiana because on its one of its second voyages, because most of our stuff is sunk here, especially with all the storms happening lately. Good lord.
Well,
it is the way it is. Glub. It's okay. We'll be
It was-
talking more about sunken later. What's,
we have a lot of. We're going to talk about this later, and we're all just kind of beating around the bush of. Who has done something? Let's put it that way. Who has done something
I
at home
have.
the past
I've
2
been-
weeks?
I have. I've been working on RC and battery powering my whole fleet of G-scale locomotives, all 11 of them, which is going to cost me quite the penny. But
Oh,
I've
okay.
already got the supplies for the first 2 conversions and sent off one of them so I can reverse engineer a friend's work.
Engineer.
I'm also teaching myself how to solder because I'm a mechanic, not an electrician, but I do like soldering. I can get it on there, but getting it off is a whole nother mess.
Tell me about it.
Soldering off's the easy part.
Soldering is like microscopic welding.
I can solder it on. Getting it off, I'll be there for hours.
I gotta be honest, I've never had a problem getting it off.
Shut up.
Point.
That's all, folks. Goodbye.
Anyhow.
Just why we'll just wait until you're older.
Oh boy.
So I've been hard at work in the virtual world because of the quarantine. And so I have been...
Oh, you were essential too.
Yeah, I am, but I only have a part-time job, so...
Yeah, that's fair.
Oh.
But yeah, I've been working on both a DEM of the WWF museum as it is now, and then also been working on my personal route, which is like a Steam like transition era branch line at like the end of its life. So the death.
I missed the Eustace and Leeds.
Yeah.
That was the best story, the best little self-contained railroad story I ever wrote.
The story is better than the route could ever be.
Oof.
But yeah, the WWF is coming along great. Have some custom structures in the works.
Yes.
Which is really exciting because I have needed someone to light a fire under my butt. And now I'm actually working on it because I know that I can put cool looking things on the route.
Yeah.
That aren't from 2004.
I'm pretty sure there's an ointment for that.
What was Kevin posting earlier?
He was posting something about structures that wasn't related.
No, but those are very cool. But no, I'm only getting one structure made for me at the moment.
I see.
It's the
you commissioned it with someone?
No, actually, I was put in fake model railroading. I said, hey, I'm not sure, like, I don't think it's secret, but yeah. So, someone who goes by the name of, is that what he's called?
Yeah,
Pensy Fan.
Pensy Fan,
I was going to say Inner
Tyler,
Urban.
AKA,
Urban Boy.
Yeah, Inner Urban Boy. Yeah, he's a hell of a 3D modeler.
Yeah, he's
not Milky.
No, it's not Milky. Yeah, he's doing a great job so far. I think he said he's working on the textures right now, which, life is important, school, all that. So progress is slow on both the route and the bridge, and he also started making the boiler work for number 9, the Forney that runs there. So
that's cool.
He said he has blueprints for a bunch of, or like almost all the rest of the equipment that currently operates at the museum.
Nice.
Yeah. Every time we'd say something, he'd be like, I have blueprints for that.
Yeah, he's like, I can do that. So hopefully, as time goes on, we'll start to acquire more and more WWF stuff for modern trains, which is very, very exciting. I mean, for 2-foot gauge content since Trains 12.
Any new 2-foot gauge content is good.
Yeah.
Yes.
I will
I'm
take
really
a
happy when
2-foot gauge version of the burned down Phillips Roundhouse.
Yeah, I'll literally take the spot where the bridge used to be in Phillips.
Can I have the what is that? The dairy car. Maybe we already have that. Well, we have an old boxcar, but there's that one dairy boxcar that is or was in Wiscasset. I want that. Actually, you know what?
Yeah,
no, I want the schooners. Somebody make the schooners.
So I'm gonna try to, I might try to start some. Kavan recommended going into the Approach Medium Discord and posting pictures of the, because there are some people in there that might see it and take an interest to it.
That's a good way.
So I figured that's my next goal. is to just try to get Tufa Gauge stuff for trains just because I need it. But
worthy
I mean,
cause.
it is.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's a worthy cause because it's mine. But
It is a worthy cause. You're correct.
but also because it shows that people actually like Tufa Gauge and that people want Tufa Gauge. At least a small train sim is like a small niche as it is.
Yeah.
And then like the smaller niche of people who are almost solely Tufa Gauge is there.
So this is a
But,
good
like-
reminder that 2-foot gauge is what the people want.
Yes. Tufa Gauge is for the
I
people.
mean, it
You're
does-
wrong.
is-
I
First of all.
model in G scale is 120 scale, so
Well, first of all, 2-foot Gauge was literally for the people, so
So yes,
it stopped at every farm.
that's true.
Okay.
Half of the stations at the WWF were just somebody's house.
But no, I
That's
think
how their
it's-
kids got to school.
It's true. What were you saying, TBA?
I think it's great though to see TJ building this, and I really hope that it sparks another fire in the community, because the 2-foot gauge stuff that we have right now has been around for
Yeah,
so
It's from
long.
like Trains of 4.
It's outdated, and this gives people a good time to make updated.
Yeah, I
models
figured
for
exactly.
these
That's what I
things.
figured. I was like, now is the
TJ is doing a fantastic job on building this route,
thank you.
It is so pretty.
and it really
Yeah.
is, man.
And
I
it will-
should get back into trains, but I've been out of it for so long.
And
I want to,
it's
except my
definitely
graphics card
released.
can't handle it.
I literally bought it just so I could buy K&L's 745 when it came out to support the 745 organization, and that's it.
Well,
Why did you need the... Okay.
you want to do something with it once you bought it.
Right.
That's fair.
I have a good ride for you.
What?
The computer nuke, aka toll print.
Oh, this computer's built for VR. Bing bong, bring it on.
Yeah, no, I wasn't sure if I remembered you having a really good computer. So
I may or may not have spent $2,000 on this computer.
Oh, goodness.
Hey,
He
it's,
That's
says
a rig.
smile.
Yeah.
it's nothing compared to my G-Scale purchases.
It's just my first setup, not much.
Yeah. I was gonna say, like, $2,000 on a
It's
computer. Yeah, it's a lot
It's
of computer.
like PC Master Race, like the LED setup, like the tri-monitor. First humble, first nothing major.
I mean, I'm working on building up a new rig now. I got my cases coming in soon.
Didn't you?
Well,
Like,
it was actually built by. I just ordered the parts. It was built by an ex-girlfriend of.
Yeah, you sure
Squirrel.
it's not a bomb?
Oh no, it's not. No. She. We were dating at the time.
Oh,
Now
okay,
it's-
that's good. That's important distinction.
Don't let it run too hot, otherwise you might not see it.
Well, no, I've got my other my tech friend, my longtime bestie, that I was best man at his wedding. That will fix it up. He just added 2.5 terabytes of memory in it.
Wow.
I
I won't
only had
ask
1
what you need
terabyte.
that for.
Porn.
Well, no, it's because
All
I don't-
porn. All of it.
all porn. No, I don't delete games. I don't delete games, and I hate doing it. So
Yeah, I too am a digital hoarder.
it's also because
Yeah,
I
I'm so afraid to. I'm so afraid to delete files. Yeah,
It's also because I do so much work with the Road to Denver. I like to keep all the files on record if I can, and even though we're 2 years behind, I still enjoy, the stuff.
Monkey looking.
Remember what it was like to be 2 years
yeah. I was
behind
gonna
schedule?
say, ouch. That's
Yeah.
rookie numbers.
Yeah,
Anyway.
don't get me started.
Those are rookie numbers.
Oh, you know what? I have a more close to home thing. Actually, I have a couple of things that I wanted to bring up. The first is that I've heard the Hoosick Tunnel is reopened. Which I don't have an article.
Oh, after
Congratulations.
that big collapse.
The big
Yeah.
kaboom.
Which
What happened anyway? I keep forgetting.
The
Collapsed.
side of
Bonk.
the side of the tunnel wall blew out. Now, it's important to know.
Rock went bonk.
Yeah, it's important to know the composition of the Husik tunnel and the fact that it took so many years to build and 200 lives because the interior of the mountain is very unstable.
Oh yeah, they just unleashed all the souls with that collapse.
Yeah, they did actually. But
The souls are what hold the tunnel up. No.
half
Okay,
of
Boomer.
half of the tunnel is hewn from stone, and the other half
Human
is brick.
bones.
The other half is bones. The other half is brick
The
lined
tunnel's bones.
because the mountain on
Bones.
that end is very porous. That end of the tunnel, there was a little blowout in the wall, and it wasn't that far inside the west end of the tunnel, and they went in there to sort of excavate around and see what the next thing was, and they managed to knock out a much larger section of tunnel, because that was the whole unstable portion, the whole immediately unstable portion, and then they just had to get in there and dig out all the rubble and put new lining on it, which I assume is concrete, because this is 2020 and not 1877. But that reopened. The other thing that opened was the Providence Northern, and by opened, I mean the hurricane-force winds of the past day ripped the
And
door
I mean,
open.
literally.
And there was a long email chain about how are we going to fix the door, who's going to go by and shut the door, how are we going to keep it
Everybody went,
closed.
shut the door.
Are you kidding me? Is it because of this whole coronavirus thing that
No.
they had to figure out who's going to go close it?
No, it's just
No,
a
it's
bunch
just
of
like
old
who's
guys.
close by. Yeah,
Oh,
close by to close the door.
Yeah,
Close the
somebody had to go over there and
close the fucking door.
somebody had to go over there and figure out why the magnet wasn't working and lock the crash bar and
Lock the crash
Thank
bar. Lock the crash bar.
thank you. I was hoping for that.
You're welcome. Good.
But yeah, I think that saga has come to a close. But now we're trying to figure out why the door blew open. And
Yeah, I don't think anybody figured it out.
roof flies off.
yeah,
It was just the winds were so strong that they just ripped the door
Oh,
open.
like that tornado that just destroyed my airport?
yeah.
Except
glad you're
small.
okay.
Except small.
I'm
And
glad
less
I'm okay.
tornado-y.
My paper mill was hit pretty bad, but we'll get to that on the news segment because of
Oh,
the
boy.
trains there.
All right. Well, has anybody else had anything they've done in the past couple of weeks?
Other than me, I've been adding custom handbar brake handles forth on my G-scale models for anything to replace all the old aging Bachmann parts.
It's a lot easier to do on G scale than say HO.
Yeah.
Oh yes, very. And
That's why G scale is like the perfect scale.
It is especially for customizing. But I've also discovered that stripping solid core wire is very therapeutic.
Oh yeah, it is. Oh yeah, it is. Oh god, what was the? I was just gonna say something. Oh yeah, it's the perfect scale if you get lots of money and space.
Yeah, that's why I'm actually
Yep.
been working on for a year now, and nothing's turned out for getting a house property for the railroad. And I've come close several times, but it's always something that ends ruining the whole thing.
Well, actually, if you have tons of money and space, the perfect scale is 2-foot gauge.
Tuba gauge, yeah.
As we already established. Anyway,
And I can't really do a custom railroad with. I can't really do my image with an 2-foot, but
Yeah, you can. You can all lumber with a 2-foot gauge.
I guess it is a lumber railroad. But
anyway,
Oh, you on Instagram, Mites? I love those videos.
Anyway, what else have we got? If we've got anything. If not, we'll figure out what we're going to do for Locomotive Versus if we're not going to do what's listed. And we are going to do the Sunken Versus.
I mean, it's up to y'all, but I still vote for the Southern versus real Southern.
Yeah, I think that would be fun. You know what I want to do, actually? And this is kind of a silly idea. Wybble, you're going to hate me because I'm putting another thing on the list.
Oh no.
Sunken Loco Royale.
No.
For one of these,
You're right, I do hate you.
for one of these Wednesdays. Sunken
Oh,
Locomotives. Hey, the pictures aren't going to be too great.
Yeah. I think it has wheels.
How many are there?
Can we
Lots.
confirm?
No, I mean wheels. We don't know.
Can we confirm?
Can we get a diver down there?
Does it have an all-weather cab?
If you're a fish.
I mean, people have gone down into the
No.
Louisiana sunk locomotives and figured out what's down there.
Did they drive them around?
Well, no. I mean, you try starting a fire inside a sunk shay.
I guess this is really called a submersible way.
Yeah. God damn it.
This is the way.
What is I mean, it's SpongeBob that managed to have a campfire underwater, so.
Wait, SpongeBob. How do we have a fire if we're under water?
Also, Futurama. But anyway.
That raises even more questions.
Thank you. I was going to wander up to Worcester to see the FL9 that the Boston Surface Railroad bought, but then Massachusetts locked down the entire state. So,
Right, just in time.
so I was like, I'll drive to Woonsocket and see the depot. Not that anything's changed here. It's just a way to keep sane. All right, then if that's all said and done, then let's do the next bit, Wybold. Thank you. All right, let's get some pictures in here.
Locomotive versus!
Pictures of Spider-Man.
Also, who's going to do the Southern engine?
No,
It's not you.
Definitely not me.
I figure say I'm
This is the
literally
first
guy
time we've had that.
All right,
I hate that engine so much.
all right, I'll do it.
say I'm literally the one who is the only running perishing. So
Yeah, that's okay. I'll do that. This will be easy enough. I
Guess
just need to scroll
goes
all
first.
the way down to the location again. Where are you? There you are.
somebody sent me the actually. Hang on, let's see if I could find it. Train.
It's here.
It's gonna
Oh,
We
break.
got it in
It's in the locomotive versus table here. If you click on U.S. Army perishing, it'll open it up.
right, Dodger. Get to.
Roger, Dodger.
All right, and now we need some pictures. Mine's pretty easy
Of
to find.
Spider-Man.
Thank you. So I'm going to grab the picture you sent earlier.
Bump. Bump, 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 bump.
We've all been using the wrong group. Eins and TJ, you guys put things in the Iron Horseman instead of the Terminus group.
That's what I've been doing.
No, wrong place.
Well,
Oh,
well done.
also when I pull up that link,
The
it just
Fat
pulls up
controller
photos
laughed.
of,
You were wrong.
It just pulls up photos of Tremont and Golf 30.
Hey, what? Hold on.
28.
Hold on. That link is taking you to pictures?
Yeah, it literally just takes me to
Spider-Man.
UA 280 consolidation
Oh,
locomotives
that's
in the USA.
strange. Alright, hold on. Let me fix that, because I know where it is.
Yeah, because Fix A, it just brings up the
Prototype,
photos
eight
listing, not the
drivers,
stats
consolidation.
listing.
You know what? They changed the organization of Steam Locomotive a while back, and we have not updated all of our,
Links.
Yeah, there it is. U.S. Army Transportation Company.
Does it really count as a company? Oh, it's a core, USATC.
Now, bear in mind,
I was like, why does that not sound right?
there were multiple perishings, so
Close
I
enough.
guess we're going to go with the
Well, I mean, one was a
Baldwin
tank, so...
Well, no, but we're going to go with the Baldwin variant.
one was a person,
Right.
also. I mean, you can go with whatever...
He's
I
not
mean,
important.
Pick a variant.
Gotcha.
Just keep it to yourself, because now I know something that I shouldn't ask. Let me go down here. Oh, Lord. I forgot about
What do you
that.
mean, oh lord?
Why?
I
Who
just-
built you, Ellis?
No, it's not that. It's something different.
What's your valve gear?
Yeah. Southern. Wait.
I don't want to talk about it. Okay, so
Ooh.
on that note, who's gonna go first? You guys get to pick because I am in the thing. The three people not competing.
The stew nods.
Eeny, meeny, miny, the Southern one.
All right. The Southern. My Southern. This Southern.
Sure.
The real, the fake sub.
All right. Oh, you know what? Year built. Nyuk, nyuk,
Year
nyuk.
built, 1917.
1926.
Old school, baby!
Yeah, that doesn't win you any points. Alright,
That is not the point. The
Let's
fat
just-
controller laughed. You are wrong.
let's see what I can do with this. For
Hey,
real
I
this
like
time.
my ladies older.
Okay.
Thanks for sharing.
Where
Also,
is...
don't have to drink my own urine, but it's sterile, and I like the taste.
Excuse me.
I just lost a stat. Oh, there it is. Yep, not doing that. Let's do... that seems like a bad idea. Screw it. What is your tractive
What
effort?
was your year built?
Tractive effort. My
Tractive effort.
my year built was
Track.
1926, which I said.
Hang on. Overall, shoot, I always suck at doing this. Tractive effort. Oh, not in here, you idiot. I had a track.
These are very similar.
Trock.
Well,
Effort. Gosh dang it, Brad. Tractive effort of the Pershings was 35,611.
oh
pound.
yeah. My tractive effort was 48,960 pounds.
That's expected
Oh,
because
no.
what
Strong.
630 was a 19.
26.
Yeah, I was going to say it was almost a decade later.
Yeah.
The Pershings, of course, were built for. Oh, actually,
Oh boy.
I've got
You think-
a way to one up 630.
Think. Use that. Just squirrel them away. Don't let me get wind of what you're thinking of doing.
Yeah, no,
Use those brains I stole
Well,
for you.
let's see. I'll just do this anyway. What's your Robert Levincetus power computation?
Robert Limited power. I always forget what that means, but
Very bottom of the list.
213.
10,146. All right. So
Well, Oh, this is going to be an
I'm just
interesting
gonna same as above plus superheater percentage.
Same with 7,000. Why aren't you giving me your information now?
I am.
7,000. 7,331.
11,972.
Damn.
Yeah. I am giving you my information. Is everyone be able to hear me?
Yeah. Can you
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Save is above, but substitute firebox area for great area.
40,580.
Well, that's closer than I wanted. 45,513. I'll still take it though. Whoops.
Well, bear in mind, I think that also might correlate because she was built as an oil burner, or
Oh.
converted to an oil burner.
Power L1.
And the Tremont and Gulf, of course, did a lot of modifications when they got a hold of her after the severe accident with the U.S. Army.
Wow. Sounds like an interesting history. What is your Power L1?
Power L1, 10,343.
God damn it, I shouldn't have done. 9,971.
Ha
Alright,
Over 9,000.
you have a point, and you have the ball, so you ask me questions now. Don't screw this up.
Let's see.
Some shit's
How
going
many
down.
railroads
Be ready
did you work
it.
for?
That isn't a stat. It has to
That
be on
is
this
not
list
a
somewhere.
stat.
Darn.
But also 2.
Dos.
Dose.
Well, I was going to say,
Monkeys.
because Tremont and Gulf 28 worked for a whopping 7 railroads in her life.
Yeah, well, that's a style point. Save that one. If it's on this list, it's a stat. If it's not, it's a style point.
And that's not including her preservation railroad, for the record. Let's see. I'm thinking. Ooh. Valve gear.
God damn it. Wall shirt or Southern?
Wall shirts.
Yeah.
F.
I said I didn't want to talk about it. Alright, you can keep going.
Let's see. Builder.
Southern.
Baldwin.
Well, he's running out of them at least.
Yeah. Once.
Yeah.
Alright, go ahead.
You can
Continue.
easy or easy. You can put them out early, but doesn't have that in the end, you know.
How many numbers in your class were built?
17.
1,570.
Jesus Christ. That's Jason.
Jason Bourne, it's Jesus Christ!
Okay, keep going.
Let's see.
Don't try to double dip because I have a blank space where it says number built.
Oh.
So, you can't get that one from me. I guess we'll never know.
I guess we'll never know.
Hey, boo boo.
Picnic basket.
Picnic
Trying to
basket.
think. What's another good one? Fuel source, because I know what y'all.
That's not a stat.
Oh, that can't be. Dang. Because I personally prefer oil burners, but that's just me.
All right.
You can do fuel. You can do fuel capacity.
No,
But
we
if he's an
can't
oil
because yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, coal versus oil. Oil's gonna win,
Well,
capacity-wise.
it depends.
Not, but okay. Anyway,
Pick a stat.
oil.
Let's
Boy.
see.
oh wait, no, wrong.
I'm probably gonna lose with anything else because, again, she was built.
Someone say oil.
There are things you can win.
Dun, 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 dun.
There it is. That's what I was looking for. I don't know why Dixie came
I'm
out.
just gonna zoom in because we're talking about the South.
Yeah, I take that back. I know exactly why Dixie came out.
Someone say oil. I'm just zooming in.
We're
on
talking
the tender.
about the South and the real South.
Yeah.
Dixie out for Harambe.
Jesus.
There's
All right,
salad.
hold on.
Boiler pressure.
Boiler pressure. That's a good one.
Burler.
190.
190.
Okay, that's a push. I will take this back, and hopefully, maybe I can make it through some more points without screwing myself over. Let's do. Let's not do that. That's too much of a gamble. Let's do firebox area.
Firebox area. Firebox area, 181.
203.
Damn!
I should-
Well, that's because it's a coal burner,
Yeah.
I guess.
Great area.
Great area is 32.70.
Oh man. 53.40. Let's see.
Well, I think the listing might be the after Tremont and Gulf rebuild. So I think they shrunk the firebox down because they converted it to oil.
Yeah. Evaporative heating
How do you
surface.
actually do that calculation?
Evaporative heating surface, 1862.
2532. See, the size disparity, it doesn't seem like it's that great, but I guess it kind of is. Superheating surface.
Superheating surface, 420. Blaze it!
570.
That's not actually a big difference.
April of this year. Combined heating surface.
Combined heating surface, 2282.
3102. Alright,
I
let's
thought
see.
it was just 31.
How much farther do I have to get? Okay, I need to get 6 more points? Oh, crap.
You're gonna have to brave it.
I'm gonna have to do something dangerous, I know for sure. Tender water capacity. Let's do that. Tender water capacity.
Tender water capacity would be 5,400.
8,000. Okay, my sense of scale is locking in now. And
Wait, what was your Zines?
5,400.
That's not very much.
his tender
Well,
is
no,
small.
but bear in mind the Tremont and Gulf at its peak, because the tender was a rebuilt off a S160's tender. It was
Still not very much.
Well, yeah, it was the Tremont Gulf. I think at its peak was 150 miles long, and that was including the logging branch. So
Still not very much.
Jesus.
I gotta go to the bathroom.
All
it's
right.
also why on the photo charters
No,
they always
sit down.
have a water car behind.
Yeah. Let's see.
Well, even though most of the charters nowadays have been with 30 since 28's under a rebuild.
Yeah, okay. I'm gonna have to start to live dangerously here. What is your driver diameter?
Driver diameter is 56 inches.
Oh, thank God, 57. I was so nervous about
way to be
that.
those guys, South.
Southern. All right, let's do
Everything's
this then.
bigger in the South.
What are your high pressure cylinders?
High pressure cylinders, 21 by 28.
24 by 30. I'm glad I didn't do that other one. Oh man, that's gonna kill me. This is gonna hurt, but I have to do it anyway. What's your factor?
Bring it.
What's your factor of adhesion?
Factor of adhesion, 4.21.
3.86. Thank God, it's closer. It's closer to 4. I was like, man, mine isn't good, but yours is worse.
Overseas.
Yeah, that's what it gets for being in an overseas build. They had to build her lighter on her frame.
Wait, how is the... Oh, I
Damn
do need
Europeans.
those.
The damn Frenchies.
What am I gonna do? Everything on size and weight, I bet you I lose terribly. It's gotta be.
Do it.
Like, I
I
gotta
would
be
bet you're correct.
super chonky. Like, I need to win 2 more, and I've run out of ones I've run out of safe bets. So, Power MT,
Power MT. Let's see if I can find.
it's the last one on the list.
Power MT 608.06.
Oh, 465.23.
Damn!
That's bad. Okay.
Wow! That's a big difference.
Yeah.
Where's the...
He was either that or another gamble. Well, you're up, Heinz. We could.
All right, let's see.
You could. Oh no, you can't quite take it to style points yet. I wouldn't if I were you, though.
Wait, drivers.
Oh boy.
Wait on drivers.
Here we go.
Here we go. This is when he starts taking it back. Weight on drivers: 189,000 pounds.
150,000.
That's a difference. Next,
Engine weight.
216,500 pounds.
Golly, what a chunker. 166,400 pounds.
Wow.
Damn, boy, he thick!
Next,
Tender loaded weight.
159,200 pounds.
109,000, and that's where the small water
Holy crap.
capacity comes.
I was like, maybe the saving grace is that oil is dense, but it was not. That's not my saving grace.
No, oil weighs a lot less than... I think oil... that's why oil floats. I think oil...
Less than
if
water,
memory
but not
serves me
less
correct,
than
from when I worked at the airport, I think oil is 6 pounds to the...
That
Well,
sounds really, really light.
I mean,
It
it does
is.
float on water.
That's true, but... No.
I think it's 6 pounds to the gallon, while
but does
water
rocks
is 8
float on
pounds to the
lava?
gallon.
Does rocks float on lava?
Does rocks float on lava? Can we
Yes.
have that be the title?
No, because we're stealing that from Rooster Teeth.
I'm back.
Oh, damn.
Total engine and...
Total engine and tender weight. 375,700 pounds.
Wow. 275,400 pounds.
That's 100,000 pounds of difference.
Damn.
That's a lot of difference.
Damn, boy!
Well, I guess that's what I get for this engine being municipal. And
Yeah.
actually usable in other places.
Alright,
Damn,
fight me.
Out here.
Fuck.
Let's
Alright.
see.
That.
Well, we have over 20 points. You can call to go to style points if you want to, or you can keep pushing.
For safety, I'd actually like to go to style points.
Okay. I do have one question that'll be off the books then. Because
What?
I want to know. What is your evaporative heating surface divided by your cylinder volume?
Evaporative heating surface. Evaporative
Divided by cylinder volume.
heating
It's,
surface, 1862.
no. Sorry, it's the last stat in that section. It's evaporative heating surface.
165.
Did we ask boiler pressure?
You could have done it.
No, I couldn't have. I have 161.
Oh.
I wanted to know. Alright, what were you saying, TBA?
Did we ask boiler pressure? I can't
We did.
remember.
Yes, it was a tie.
They're both
It
190.
was, yeah, it was a tie. Okay, then let's do some style points.
Oh.
I don't know a lot about this engine.
I know a lot about my engine.
Yeah. I'm sorry,
Oh,
Southern,
boy, I've
if I
got to
let
sit
you
back
down.
down. Oh, God. All right, let's go.
I know a little bit too much about my engine, bear in mind, because,
Yeah.
again, this was a local railroad, so...
Looks like a bare bones consolidation to me.
Well, we
That
both
is
have
not what I thought the scores were.
we both have doors. What have you got for air compressing?
Air compressor. Oh, hang on, let me bring that up.
I have
Either-
I have a cross compound, and that's all I can see. I don't think I have 2 of them.
I would
Where's
not
the-
bet you do.
Where's the
300 only
picture of
has
the
a
southern
cross
engine?
compound. So you're about the same.
Okay, so
Yeah.
we each have a cross compound. Darn. Not gonna say that.
Where's the picture of the Southern engine.
Oh, sorry. You know what? I didn't even think to post it because I was like, everyone knows what this looks like.
Why
Everyone knows what 630 looks like.
tall?
Oh, okay, there we go.
630 is fun. I've seen her once on actually on the first annual Fulmer's.
Wait a minute.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Oh wait, no, never mind. That's not a Southern Coney. I was thinking for a minute that looked like 734.
Yeah, I was thinking that when I said it, and I was like, no, that's not that engine.
It looked a lot like 734, so I was going to say you get a point for a trains model, but
for being super shocked. Actually,
You,
do I have a train?
You do, actually.
Yeah.
You do. You have a KNL model.
Yeah.
very nice.
Not for long. I'm planning on actually commissioning him for making both the Tremont Golf 30 and 28.
Good luck with that.
Well,
I mean, you can do it. You
You
just won't have
both-
it for a while.
Yeah.
Right.
You both have power reverse. The 630s is just really weird because Southern valve gear.
God dang
Oh, I
Southern
do?
valve gear.
I glanced and I
You do.
didn't see it.
Both have power reverse.
It's right behind the branch pipe for the. It's above the first drive wheel,
Okay, I need a different
pointed
picture.
backwards.
Oh, I see it.
I'm trying to figure out how it works
Poorly. I don't know.
because Southern valve gear is actually supposed to work really well.
But nobody could figure out how.
Well, I've got a manual. I haven't read it, but
It's the thought that counts.
yeah, pretty much.
I mean, we've both run in preservation. I have a better... Wait, do I have... I assume I have a better surviving percentage, because 1 out of 17 is, like, greater than 5%, and I somehow doubt there were more than 5% of...
There are more than 200, no, 20 of these.
Let's see. We have...
No, it would be... There would be
I
1/20th of
think we have-
2,000, or 1,000.
We have 2 confirmed perishings in the United States. 1 in Italy that was recently rediscovered. 2 in France.
Well, that's not in the United States.
1, I think, in... 2 have been confirmed found in China, and 1
China.
is rumored to be in Russia.
It's still less than 50. But you do get a point for having, many more survivors than me.
Now, bear in mind the reason why there are the actual survivors, like in Russia and China, is because they were still actively used even into the modern day.
Which, that's definitely a style point for you.
Does Ellis
Also-
get a style point for the white trim around his locomotive?
I was about to say, I've got some neat
What
trim.
about green?
How many
No,
paints?
because
Hold on, hang on. I could beat you there. How many paint schemes has 631 sent?
I have no idea. Fewer...
Has 630 been in the green?
28 has been an ATSF. The Tremont Golf. Let's see. She's also been in her famous Texas State Red that everybody always knows her for.
for the record, you're not going to get a point for White Walls Ellis because he has White Walls too
Yeah,
for
I
a
was
couple
going
of
to
his
say,
games.
28
Yeah.
had white walls, especially during the Texas State days.
I just had
the
a
Texas
nice,
State.
I had a nice pinstripe, and I thought it was neat.
Ooh,
Yeah, that's
is
what I
this
was-
630?
I was
is
talking about
630.
the like along the gangway and the
Yeah.
bottom of the cowcatcher.
Yeah, but he
So
definitely,
did,
he definitely
hang
gets
on, I'll
the
get
paint
you a
point.
photo.
Oh, does he? Do you have an all-weather cab over there? Is that what I'm seeing?
Yes, I have an all-weather cab.
Do you?
Does he?
Yeah, she was built with an all-weather cab for by
Artillery.
the Tremont Gulf using Army surplus supplies.
Also,
Can't
does
actually
does
see
Brad
the cab.
does
It-
Brad?
GBA,
What?
you're cutting out.
Well, I'm just trying to talk without talking over people.
Oh.
Does Brad's engine get a point for serving in the military?
Yes.
Yeah.
Served her whole life until she had that catastrophic accident under the military, and she's derailed. I think I haven't seen the Army records, but there are photos of her because she literally worked for the Camp Claiborne and Polk Military Training Railway that everybody in the military that was involved with trains came to and trained on her or some of the S-160s they had, and has derailed countless times because their whole purpose was how badly can they derail a train and how quickly can they put a train back on the track.
Also, it does not have an all-weather cab.
It doesn't.
Yay, one less.
No, it does not.
Oh, you know what? Yeah, it doesn't.
I've been in the cab several times.
It doesn't
Looks like
have an all-weather cab.
If you can't shut the doors to the sides,
No,
Also-
that was removed. That was removed when Southern Pine got it. They removed the doors off of it.
It
No,
doesn't have an all-weather cab.
Also,
Nor
I'm
has it.
sorry, Texas State Railroad, but this is hideous.
It is hideous.
Yeah. Bear in mind that was during when the state owned it, and the state. Oh my God, their paint schemes were.
It
something.
reminds me. It reminds
In
me
fairness,
of
the
the
state's on the cats.
Right.
But
It
those
reminds
states
me
aren't
of the-
Texas.
California Western.
This is true.
Now, the other thing is, though, I will
Good.
say the state of Texas is nice when it comes to steam locomotives because you know how Six Flags Over Georgia is infamous for what they did to their steam locomotives. Six
a theme
Flags Over
park.
Texas was actually planning on doing the same thing, and the state of Texas itself came in and said, hold on one second. No, keep it steam. Or else we'll tax you extra. And they were like, oh, fine.
Everything's bigger in Texas.
Everything's better.
Especially the red paint buckets.
What happened?
Texas Strong Army,
we're
the Texas State
still
Railroad.
Doing our thing.
What else?
What
What
are
else
the
have we
points?
got? Do either of us have a backup headlight? I don't have any pictures of that.
Yeah, 28 has one.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does. I've seen it in the on a
Oh, there it is. There it is. You're good. You're good.
I figured to say
It was
No.
it was off in one picture, and then in another picture, it's
yeah.
No.
No.
I figured to say I've been in 28 several times. She's got a rear headlight, especially because the railroad she works for is a common carrier now, so they have to have by FRA standards have to have a rear light.
That's also not true.
That's not true.
Nope.
I didn't know that.
Wrong.
But does that mean does that
But
mean
no,
28
they,
is hauled freight and preservation?
She has.
I need to
She's
stop
hauled
opening my mouth.
modern freight, as a matter
Yeah.
of fact. She's hauled modern freight because there's a
630
chemical
hasn't hauled
plant
modern
in
freight?
Rusk.
Okay,
What?
so-
I've never seen 630.
I feel like I've seen a video.
I feel
I've
like I have to. But
Wait a minute.
Preservation
I'm go-
freight,
Oh,
but 28 has called full-on revenue, like modern tank cars.
Why am I looking at pictures of Southern 630 and getting pictures of a New Jersey Central Camelback?
Oh yeah, here we go.
I think I'm going to
question.
start using Bing.
They did a Southern 630
Ew.
and 4501 freight doubleheader.
was it revenue freight or photo freight?
That
photo
looks like
freight,
photo
by the-
freight.
Yeah, I'm seeing photo freight. I'm not seeing revenue.
Yeah.
Dang.
We don't give points for photo freight. We give points for
No.
revenue, though.
Yeah, no,
FOMO
28.
freight.
The Texas State Railroad guys have been on record saying after they'll do some major work to one of their engines, they'll fire it up for testing it, and they'll usually go out and grab. Instead of using the diesel locomotives, they'll go out and grab the freight trains and run them, and even go out into Union Pacific Yards and do some switching around there.
630's been in music videos.
That's true.
So at
Nothing as good as the Nevada
Damn it.
Northern
28
one, right?
has been
No.
in film. 28 has been in film.
That's a
I
630.
forget what 28 was, what particular films. I know she was in Walker, Texas Ranger.
Okay, that's a point.
For Chuck Norris.
Yes.
Chuck Norris.
Thank you, Chuck Norris.
Thank you. Chuck Norris.
Okay, I've noticed another thing that I shouldn't say.
Nope.
Question. I'm sure there was two more things. God damn it.
I'm trying to figure out if 630 has a feed water heater. If the picture I saw of it with the actual barrel taken off the smoke box is not her.
Okay, actually, I do have a question. Do you have re-railing frogs hanging off your tender? Because I don't see one.
Yes, she keeps
Damn.
railing frogs under the tender.
Damn it. I have some. I think I see one.
It appears to, yes.
Well,
Yes, it does.
Okay, what are the points at right now? It's 15
Well, the points,
to
16,
16.
15.
Oh, crap. Yeah, I'm not going to say anything else.
He's catching up to you.
Yeah, I'm done. I've given him
Well,
enough
you're ahead.
points. So I would like to end it here.
I nominate to end.
I'm thinking,
I'm thinking.
how many years in preservation?
Dang.
I don't know.
Dang.
I know 28. I mean, 28/300 has run since I think Let me double check my numbers actually before I open my mouth.
Why are you like that?
I think she was donated in '86, and she ran in the '90s. Her rebuild. And, well, of course, after her 1472 came up, then she was quickly put back again as a front runner. But recently, she's gone down for running gear work. So I think a total of 30 years.
The 630 was part of the Southern Steam program.
Oh, this is true.
So they ran a lot. Like, starting in 1968.
Fair.
So, is that a point for me?
I'd give it to you.
Okay.
Look at this.
Yeah, because that was one of the first major steam programs, like preservation.
Yeah.
630 has injector overflow diffusers.
Green and gold.
Curious
those sound cool.
if this would get me a point, but has 630 ever worked for a logging railroad?
That is not a point.
It should be, because...
We like locomotives here, which means we don't like lumber companies.
I actually am quite fond of lumber companies, because there's the reason why half of the locomotives in Louisiana still exist.
Well,
Underwater?
let me introduce you to our friends, the Sumter.
Actually, half of them are underwater, the other half are well preserved, except for whenever you've got a city zoo. Well, I'm not getting in on that, but let's just say I'm not happy with my city or the zoo. There.
I was going to say, let me introduce you to our friends, the Sumter Valley.
630 has a bucket.
Southern... Well,
I don't really want to give it a point for it, but it has a bucket.
I did see that.
Southern short lines and lumber companies are very underrated because, as in Lucius Beeb's Mixed Train Daily, he actually mentions
BB.
30 and 28 because they were such oddballs on the railroad for a railroad known for for all 10-wheelers on their main.
That's kind of neat.
Hey, I have the book.
Goes to mention that the Tremont and Gulf was the most well-kept short line railroad he'd ever been on, and would gladly come back again. But he fell in love with the V&T after that, and never came back.
Virginia and
that's
Truckee.
neat, but that's not a point. Have we got anything else? Actually, you know what?
630 has cute little lights aimed at the tender steps. That's kind of neat.
Safety.
Early step light.
Let's. I will give you a concession, Heinz.
What?
We can end it here, but I will give you 2 points first. So it'll be 17-18. Do you take that deal?
Thinking.
AOL noise.
Who was the last person that we offered a deal like this, and then they denied it?
You know what? I'll take it because I'm not familiar with how we can do the style points.
Okay,
I'll take it.
The way it works is you take the deal, or if you don't take the deal, like the last person who didn't take the deal, then you die.
Well,
I don't remember. I don't remember who last. I don't remember the context of that. I
want to say it was Dean.
I remember Kevon making a deal at one point, but that was not that instance.
I was hoping I could use my trump card of how many countries have they worked in, but 28, of course, is the only perishing surviving that's never been to another country.
Well, the points I wanted to give you, that I'm giving at 17-18, are that you have more sand than me, and you have more sand lines than me.
Yeah.
I have one on each side.
I think that was at a Tremont and Gulf.
Oh wait, no, I have two.
All
right, so I'll give you the point for more sand, and I'll also give you the point for being a world traveler, because you do deserve that one.
Yeah,
I was gonna say
what according to the Army record, she was due to leave for France with a load of other engines, but she was fired up to run the trains onto the boats and stuff, and the U.S. Navy decided, we've already got this one, send them on, we're going to use this one to help build dams and stuff around the area in Norfolk Navy.
Also, 630 has roller-bearing tender trucks.
Too late. Winner, the Southern Railway. KS1.
The fake Southern Railway, because the Southern Railway is not southern enough.
The Southern Railway did end up going pretty far north.
Yeah, that's my point.
And Canadian National runs to Kentucky.
Don't they run to
No,
Florida?
Canadian National runs to New Orleans.
All right, then that furthers the point.
Anyway.
They also run to Kentucky.
Yeah.
Or is it Canadian
yeah,
Pacific? Who bought out the Illinois Central? I can't remember. Is it Canadian Pacific? Canadian National?
17. I think that was
One of
CN. No, maybe. I'm not sure. Yeah, I think it was CN.
It was! Or no, that's 4501. Never mind.
What? Huh? What?
It looks similar. I'm trying desperately to figure out if this thing has feed water heat. I think it does, because there's a picture of the smoke box taken apart, and there's the little reliefs for where you have the feed line, but I can't find the feed water heating unit. Unless that's it on the pilot. I think it is. That is it. 630 has feed water heat.
Cool. I also have railings on my stairs.
This is true.
Well, 300. I mean, I get 300 gets or 28 has oil heaters in her bunker.
I mean, that's good. That's nice. Okay, let's cast our votes though.
Okay.
So who's voting for 630? Who's voting for Southern Pine 28 or the entire U.S. Army Pershing class, rather?
I vote for 630.
Ditto.
Palmer.
Ditto.
Okay.
I vote for 28.
No,
You don't get a vote.
TBA, how can you betray me?
How could this happen to me?
Because
not even a pity vote.
Southern.
Ooh.
Fuck the Southern.
Sincerely, General
Don't let
Sherman.
Don't let Jader hear that.
That's a nice Georgia you have. It'd be a shame if something burned it down.
You don't need eardrums.
To show you the power of
What?
To show you the power of the Union Army, I cut this Georgia in half.
I burned
Now that's a lot of.
Killed everything.
Now that's a lot of slaves.
Ooh.
Jesus.
Whoa!
I accidentally deleted the entire Locomotive Versus.
It was just an observation. Just an observation. It's just he was observing as he went past.
Whoa, that's a lot of slaves. Turns to the camera, and that's a bad thing.
And that's
To
the
clarify.
And that's
the more you know thing flies by.
Anyway, speaking of bad things, let's get to the news, because I have talk of a terrorist incident. Actually, if we're being insensitive, I've already seen people call it attempted train 9/11.
Is this that?
Yeah.
Are we talking in Los Angeles?
Yes.
Oh no, that quack job. Oh boy.
There's a great bit on. So this podcast Mason showed me. Well, there's your problem. They're hilarious. And they, in their most recent episode, which is about, it's not the Federal Express one. It's the one after the Federal Express. They did do an episode of the wreck of the Federal Express, though, which was a good.
Which, for our listeners, is the one where the GG1 fell through the floor in DC.
Yeah, came crashing through the door.
Where it silver streaked.
Yeah, and they talked about, because it was in DC, they were like, so somebody could just crash a train in the tunnel underneath the Capitol building and everything like that, and it would be like a train 9/11. And then literally the next week, they're putting out the episode, and they're like, yeah, since last episode and this episode, somebody actually did something like that.
Attempted to.
Yeah, attempted to. So there is this big hospital ship. Oh, it was a Tenerife airport disaster episode. It's episode 22. There's this hospital ship that's currently docked in LA. There's another one docked in New York, which are serving as overflow treatment, not for COVID patients, but for basically everybody else. Obviously, they're not designed to deal with a pandemic. They're more designed to deal with things like battlefield injuries, because they are U.S. Navy hospital vessels.
In the Navy.
So there isn't a lot of separation between anybody. You know, turning into a quarantine ship would be a lot more work. So they decided to do that with the hospitals and move other patients, less critical or non-coronavirus patients, onto the ships. Now, somebody decided to take a random Jeep and I think one empty intermodal car and try to run it off the end of track near the pier where this ship is docked.
Oh, I heard
And
about this.
It's actually the engineer of the that switched that. It wasn't just a random person.
Well, he's a random person to us. So
He's just some schmo now.
yeah.
Well, yeah.
Edward
He's not
Moreno,
even
44, of
Joe.
San Pedro, was charged today in a criminal complaint with one count of train wrecking as a result of an incident Tuesday afternoon. What's funny, and they brought this up with the podcast, is that they had to dig up, like, really old charges for this. Because, as we know, nobody robs trains anymore. According to the criminal complaint filed in the U.S. District Court, Moreno admitted in 2 separate interviews with law enforcement authorities that he intentionally derailed and crashed the train near the USNS Mercy.
Open the switches all the way or we'll wreck the goddamn train.
Moreno ran the train off the end of tracks and crashed through a series of barriers before coming to rest more than 250 yards from the Mercy. Now, I will point this out. Now, they showed this on the podcast, on the other podcast, and I'm going to show it for the viewers here as well. Just how close this guy wasn't to hitting the ship.
I
Yeah,
got
he was-
something
he was
about
off
that
course.
guy. That was the best part about
Yeah.
he had a buddy of his.
Oh, no.
Right after the incident, a buddy of his started and posting it on social media how somebody just stole the train, and that claiming that somebody broke into the yard and stole the train and ran it off.
I wonder who that could have been. Also,
Thomas
so,
had never
okay.
seen such bullshit
So,
before.
the end of... The distance between where he ran the train off the end of the tracks and where the Mercy is docked is at a minimum 900 feet.
Yeah.
And you have to cross 2 large roads to get to it.
So it's like, the guy was out of his blitzing mind.
I mean, you have to go under a freeway, cross 2 streets, and go through a building to get to where the ship is docked. It's also right down the road from the USS Iowa, which is kind of neat. But yeah, let me just show this for the viewers. So this little bulb out here and this stub end track, that's where he tried to crash the train, or that's where he crashed the train. Then there's this bridge, and then this street, and then this building, and then this street, and then this large parking lot, and then there's the water, and this cruise ship is docked about where the Mercy is parked today. That's a long way to go. He was optimistic, I guess you could say.
He was mad.
Yeah.
Missed it by that.
In his first interview, Moreno acknowledged that he did it, saying that he was suspicious of the Mercy and believing it had an alternate purpose related to COVID-19 or a government takeover. He stated he acted alone and had not
FEMA
pre-planned-
boat.
Yeah. He knew it would bring media attention and, quote, people could see for themselves. He stated he did it out of a desire to, quote, wake people up, unquote. He stated...
Wake me up inside.
So yeah, train wrecking charge alleged in the criminal complaint carries a statutory maximum penalty of 20 years in prison. So I have no less than 6 articles about this incident. And I'm just glad nobody was
I'm kind of confused why they didn't just charge him with domestic terrorism and get it over with.
I guess. I mean, I feel like that... Like, is that an actual charge? I feel like you have to, like,
Isn't
back
it?
that up with something.
I don't know. I always assumed it was an actual charge.
I don't know. Hold on. Is domestic terrorism
You're on the list
an
now.
actual... I don't want to write an actual crime.
Your FBI guy is going, why is he looking up, is domestic terrorism actually illegal? They're a bit more like guidelines.
So, the top link is, should we create a federal crime of domestic terrorism? So I guess it isn't explicitly a crime yet.
So I suppose not. Yes.
It's like cannibalism though, right? It's like, it's not illegal to eat a person.
Is cannibalism
It's
not illegal?
It's not illegal to eat a person, But it is illegal.
It's just
There's
illegal
no
to
legal
kill them
way
with the
to
intent
get-
of eating them.
Yeah, there's no legal way to get human flesh to eat.
Well,
No. I mean, I guess if somebody...
Wait, wasn't there a company that was making synthetic human flesh?
Soylent. What?
Wasn't there a company making synthetic human flesh?
I don't know. I mean,
could
I
swear
know there
there
are...
was a company, some wacko company, in an effort to, they were like a green company or a vegan company, and in an effort to try and get people to stop eating bacon, they started making bacon that was the exact same texture as human flesh.
Human bacon. Mm.
I mean, somebody is actually making Soylent. I assume it isn't people,
It isn't people.
but you can actually have and eat Soylent.
You can't... Well, and the other thing is, I mean, there are people that have been developing, like, 3D printed organs and stuff like that. So maybe we're not far from artificially created human meat to eat. You know? I'm just... maybe in 20 years we'll have the McPerson on the menu.
McPerson. The McJohnny!
The McJohnny.
Gee, has anybody seen
If that isn't the title of the episode, I'm gonna be disappointed. But we need a name that's funnier than Johnny.
Gee, has anybody seen Reggie in the past couple days? Last time I heard, he was going down to McDonald's to get a burger. The McReggie.
We're having...
McReggie.
We're having you for dinner.
Oh.
We'd love to have you for dinner.
But you know what else is for dinner? If we want to talk about actual food?
Oh no.
No, this is good. This is
Oh?
this is the spaghetti trains.
Oh,
yes.
yes.
In Europe, due
Due
to food shortages or just general logistics problems, they have created short-notice spaghetti trains to get pasta across the Alps.
Yep.
They've mobilized Italy's strategic reserve of pasta.
The first delivery included 10 wagons of spaghetti, penne, and fusilli. The pallets were collected from producer Cucina at Nola near Napoli and taken
Somebody
by
crashed.
road to Anaghi and then transported by rail to DB Schenken's transit terminal in Nuremberg. So, yeah, this is... I mean, it's hilarious, but it's like... We're having
Interesting.
a global crisis.
We're having a global crisis, and Italy is just shipping pasta.
Emergency pasta trains.
The emergency
This
pasta.
is the world
train.
we live in.
I love it so much.
But-
This is the world that Italy lives in.
This is the world that Italy... This is the world that Italy always lives in.
Pretty much. Where's
And
this freaking piece?
We are moving towards a world... We are moving ever more quickly towards a world with a running T1 duplex. The T1 Trust is looking for... is looking for donations and has started work on the firebox roof sheet. So, that is a piece of metal 20 feet long and 8 feet wide that is currently on order and is being made by Gemini Industrial Machine, which they're also working on the backhead. The side sheets will be next, and then everything will go to Continental Fabricators in St. Louis this summer to be mated to the rest of the boiler. So, that means we will have the boiler, the firebox, the smoke box, and the prow, and a cab.
Frame.
I know.
Wow.
Yeah, but you will have all those things and nothing to put them on top of.
Yep.
Right.
Well,
while I'm fine, all fine and dandy with seeing the T1, I have but one response. All hail the oval!
But
yeah, I'm gonna
we
give him a point for that.
we still have most of the. We're getting a bigger portion of the T1.
Yeah,
It's coming.
it's coming. I mean, the frame is
And
tricky for reasons mentioned. They'll get to it, I'm sure. It's gonna be one...
When I see the frame is when I'll have confidence.
Yeah.
What do you mean? I've had confidence in the program.
Hey, the frame is a big deal. The frame is going
Check.
to be difficult.
I've
The
even
other thing
donated
is,
to
I'm
this
not all that
program.
I'm not that big a fan of the Pennsylvania Railroad.
We know. Well, for people who are fans of the Pennsylvania Railroad, Green Coast Studios released their Q2.
Yeah, Union, a good friend of mine. I'm really proud of.
I know I've seen some of his stuff.
It's
It's
gorgeous. It's got all the bells and whistles, literally.
For crying out loud, he got on the front of Trains' news, and I was really damn proud of him.
Yeah, it's fantastic. I should buy this model.
You should support. Go out there and support
don't already
my
have
boy
it.
union.
I know.
Boys.
I haven't.
Everybody.
I haven't bought much in the way of payware for Trains yet because I've been playing a lot of Trains, and also it's like, quarantine's here, and two of the people in my house are out of work. It's like maybe I shouldn't just be spending money on things.
Well,
I'm already
You're still working.
I'm already a frugal individual. But anyway,
I mean, I never played Trains, but I at least bought the 745 just to support the Louisiana Steam Train Association.
well, if money from this went to the Q2 Trust, I would probably buy it.
Oh God! Now that's something I definitely would not be fond of.
But you know what?
I can hear. Can you hear that?
Just the sound of breaking track. Oh.
Kind of that kind of a noise.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I hear that somewhere in the background, like vaguely in the background.
Oh, there it is again.
Actually, what I will be buying in order to support the people behind it is everything from the EBT. When that's done from K&L.
No, I'll be
will
buying everything from the DNS.
I've actually decided I'll probably come back to Trains just so I could play with the EBT.
Oh yeah. Oh, speaking of the DNS, let's talk about them for a minute.
Oh, that's right. We have news.
You do.
So the Durango and Silverton made a weird announcement. I guess it was yesterday, 2 days ago. Yesterday.
No, it leaked out a couple days before they made the official.
It did. Jeff knew about it the day before, apparently.
It was going around my Discord 2 days ago before they even announced.
The Durango and Silverton has purchased 4 hood units from the White Pass and Yukon, those being the DL535s. They're the little mini-looking Alco thing, 6-axle diesel, as well as their 2 converted standard gauge units, which I saw a picture of for the first time earlier today, which are expected to be completed sometime in the next couple weeks.
It's terrifying to think that we live in a day and age where the DNS will have more running diesel locomotives than.
Yeah. Well, they probably won't keep. They now have 10 diesel locomotives.
They do?
4 of them are. Yes. Well, think about it. You got the 2 standard gauge units, the 4 White Pass units, and 4 switch diesels. 3 switch diesels in the 1203.
Well, recently, diesel locomotives have been returning to Hawaii. There's a very big possibility that the ex-Hawaiian engines over there will probably end up returning.
Thanks to COVID-19, the diesels are returning to Hawaii.
Okay,
no, but seriously, I follow. I really like Sugarcane Railroad. It's part of my area's culture, so I keep track of some of that.
Question the taste further.
So, is the Durango and Silverton?
What?
Huh?
Is the Durango and Silverton?
Are they gonna put the White Pass diesels in the Rio Grande speed lettering diesel scheme?
No. Everybody wants them to.
Oh, they should.
Dude, they would look so sick in that scheme.
They would look sick in that scheme, and everybody agrees they would look awesome. However, we've been
But what are they doing now?
postulating for years that the Durango and Silverton needs to make a shirt that says, "We're not the Rio Grande, get over."
More than likely they're going to put it in a scheme that matches the cars with the yellow and silver.
No, they're not.
Oh, God.
They're putting it in worse.
Oh,
They're
no.
going to be gold. They're going to be gold and maroon.
Oh, no, the
word
the slurge maroon?
No, not quite slurge bad. The word I've heard is picture the White Pass scheme that they are currently in, but the green is replaced with maroon.
That's awful.
It is awful.
I've heard of worse.
That's not good.
I don't like it,
You
but
could be
oh well.
SV
It's there. It's there.
You could be
Additionally,
an SF.
Additionally, the diesels, for everybody concerned, as of now, are not replacing any of the steam run service. The
Right.
Durango and Silverton is introducing a shorter run, I believe, from Rockwood to Cascade Canyon and back, as for people with young kids that still want to see the pretty part of the railroad, but they don't want to spend literally all day behind a steam engine.
And $100.
This is a shorter, little bit cheaper ride that the diesels will be handling exclusively.
Right, because I've seen people exploding, especially older generation people
Floating all over
exploding
those
over the
diesels.
internet right now over this whole thing, saying that they're going to replace all the steam locomotives, that they come up there for steam, they're ashamed and all that.
Well, they're
They're
not.
going to replace the steam locomotives, guys.
I want
No,
to
they're
point
not.
out. Sorry, go ahead.
No, that's it. They're not going to replace the steam engines, at least not yet.
I want to point out something on another note, on a slightly different note, which is the fact that back in the days of yore, the Rio Grande shipped off locomotives to the White Pass, and now the White Pass is just returning the favor.
Well, as we said, the White Pass killed all of the K-28s, bar 3 of them. Now they're going to finish the job
Oh no!
in a very different way. But the White Pass is going to finish killing off the K-28s. I want that plastered across the narrow gauge discussion forum, and I want to see everybody melt down.
Oh no!
Some just want to watch the world burn.
Yeah.
I just
Also,
wanna
hashtag they are green.
Oh no!
I just want to say that the diesels that the White Pass is getting are ugly.
Yes, very.
We can
very.
talk about that
I
too.
cannot. Well, actually, I prefer. Okay, I'm going to be the devil in the rye here.
What is with
I
them?
don't mind the look of the White Pass engines, bar I don't like of the tumors on top of the ones they're sending the DN.
What? But that's like
Those look great.
I
No,
think-
they're new. Their new
Especially
locomotives
as a
look like
descaler,
garbage.
what is with the White Pass and
Wait, okay,
weird
so which
locomotives?
are the ones that are being sent to the DNS, and which are the ones that they're...
The White
ones-
they're sending the ones that look like mini SD40s.
Yeah,
With
to the
tumors
Durango
on
and Silverton.
top.
And the ugly, ones
They're
that look
getting
like
these
they've been
ugly
punched in the
Australia-
face are the new.
Again,
the Lego-looking engines?
Yes.
Devil
Yeah.
in the rye here. I like the White Pass engines. Don't like the old ones they're sending the DNS.
The expression is devil's advocate, but okay.
Well,
I say
I
devil in
mean-
the rye because I thought.
Why would the devil be in the rye?
nobody
doesn't
likes
like
rye
wheat.
bread anyways.
Well, no, but the devil's an alcoholic, don't you know?
Then why wouldn't he be in a brewery?
The devil came up to Boston.
Either way, I don't like the tumors on top of the ones from the White Pass.
I get over it.
Yeah, no, I'm over it, but that's just me. But also, I have to deal with those a lot because a lot of G-scalers I've run into run those White Pass units.
They're neat units.
I've always liked them. You know, and
I walked
as
into the
somebody-
roundhouse today to collect a paycheck, and I was met with Jeff immediately turning to me and going, "No, we can't have one.
No, we can't have one.
No, we
But
can't
yeah.
have one."
Are
Like,
you talking?
aw. It was a double whammy. He's like, "No, we can't have one, and they're not being painted like little tunnel motors."
Aw,
Aw.
we can't have one. But the DNS is getting them. Just
But the
because the DNS can have them
DNS is
doesn't mean we can have them. All
I want to
the
go to
cool
Hossie
kids.
Station, pick up some power converters.
What if something happens though within like the next 5 years or so, where it's like, we don't want these anymore. Do you guys want one?
I don't think the museum would be able to run them. They're pretty big.
Yeah, I was figuring say those things are
The-
basically standard gauge on narrow gauge truck.
They
The
are
only
rather
thing
large.
that might happen, might, and I haven't heard anything about this, this is just me speculating. If they do decide that they don't need 10 diesel, they might keep like Hot Shot and Big Al for maintenance and then sell the 11 and whatever the other one is.
Mhm.
We might seize the opportunity to get one of those because their center cabs are larger than ours and would have the capability to pull our Thomas train.
Actually, I was going to say, aren't there center cabs EBT and X Hawaiian?
A couple of them are.
I was going to say with the recent event,
They're all
I expect-
different.
I expect one EBT diesel might return to the EBT, and with recent events, apparently Hawaiian Railroading coming back, they might. I know one recently. I forget where. I think Cumbres and Toltec just sent one of theirs back to Hawaii. Or I think that one of the DNSs might return as well.
If they can pay for it.
Yeah.
That's what a lot. Their Hawaii railroads are currently wanting their some of their old engines.
Well, if they can
Railroads in
figure out how to
Hawaii.
pay for it, then go
Well,
for it.
they did. I don't know how they did this. I forget. I'm gonna have to go through a lot of my because mainly I've gotten the news from a Hawaiian Railroad Society member on Instagram, and I follow. I know they recently just won. Doc's waiting for to be taken out due to the situation. It had to sit in the dock.
Mhm.
But anyway, Diesels, Durango, and Silverton, good stuff.
I missed the white
Like that's it. Hopefully next time we'll have a picture of their standard gauge units. I mean, I saw a picture of one briefly, and my overwhelming... Oh, it's just a standard gauge diesel with really little wheel.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the Alcos are neat. I was like, ooh, the shovel noses? No, not the shovel noses.
Nah,
No.
not the shovels. The cute little tunnel motor looking... I stand by those would look so cool in the Rio Grande.
I know.
Everybody
I
thinks
was
it.
thinking about that too, and I was like, "Oh, that would
No.
look so cool."
The hood units.
Okay, I was worried there. I was like, ugh.
Send one to the
Yeah, I
cats,
think
they'll
it
do
is.
it. They're cool enough.
Yeah. At this point, I'm half wondering if they're like, we're not going to paint them like mini tunnel motors just to piss everybody off.
Would you really be surprised?
No, that's what I'm wondering. I'm
Yeah.
wondering if that's the case, because 3/4 of the guys down there probably want them painted like little tunnel motors too.
Yeah.
Oh well, they're their engines. We're not the Rio Grande. Get over it.
That's
Yeah,
pretty funny.
but they're the closest thing to the Rio Grande anymore.
The cats would
is
like to
still
know
a
your
thing.
location. Yeah.
Also, our engines actually say Denver and Rio Grande Western on the side of them.
Doesn't DNS still have some? I've seen. I thought the DNS still had at least one labeled in Rio Grande.
In the museum, no, that's probably RGS right now. They do them occasionally for photo freights, but no, their engines are Durango and Silverton.
All right. I wanted to bring attention to something else while we're all stuck inside. If you need to suck down a little more railroad seminar goodness, the New York City Transit Museum, the New York Transit Museum has been doing a bunch of online seminars and stuff like that. And they're having an upcoming one, well, that'll probably be past by the time this comes out, but they've got a whole lineup of them. They're basically never ending. And most of them are free. There are some that are members only, although those are actually, some of the ones that are members only are the ones that I can see are actually tours of the old City Hall loop station. Because the Transit Museum runs those sorts of things, yeah. I saw a picture just of Transit Museum shenanigans where the shuttle between Times Square and Grand Central Terminal is like a segment of the original subway that they've routed around at multiple points, and so they just have trains that run back and forth in that tiny little section. And I don't know why exactly they decided to do this, but they decided to take their train of R9s, which are some of their oldest subway cars that actually are still compatible with the system, and just go park it over there. Like, they take it out of the museum, run it down, It's not like there's such thing as not mainline on the New York City subway. They just drive it around, park it in Grand Central, or underneath Grand Central and underneath Times Square. Not really sure why. Just for the sake of publicity.
Because they can.
And I said, they should do this all the time. Like, this should be what's running the shuttle.
Yes.
It would be very neat.
Heritage equipment.
Yeah, and it belongs there. They ran there.
I had to explain to my best friend the other day what exactly a foamer was, because he was all...
Oh my...
Did you do it entirely at the voice?
Oh no, I showed him the whole video.
Okay.
Oh my god.
And he was pissing his pants laughing, dude.
When I initially explained the concept of foamer to my dad, I could not get more than a couple sentences out without slipping into the voice like this.
Jesus
and
That's funny. Oh my god.
Oh my god.
No, hold on. This picture Kevon just posted looks real.
too.
Wait, what did Kevon post?
In the Horseman, the one with the trailing end of his train there, that looked like a real picture.
Oh yeah. That looks really good. I will also give that a thumbs up.
I'm in. gonna give that a thumbs up.
Up from me.
Oh, and just to continue the trend of internet presence of museums, the Rare Museum of Pennsylvania didn't ask me anything on Reddit a little while back, so you can go
They
through.
did?
Yeah, you can go through and read that. That was like a few days ago. A pretty good
We've been
one.
filming and putting up a whole bunch of stuff too. So check our YouTube.
Oh yeah,
Yep.
I didn't know you guys had a YouTube.
How to fire
They
a steam
post
locomotive
like once a
Part 8.
year.
Well,
But
We want the next part of how to fire a steam locomotive.
oh, like
that wasn't on the museum's channel. That was Little Jeff's.
Oh.
He's actually posted a couple updates since. Like he has a video on the cats, video on the DNS.
That's cool.
Well, what else have we got?
Some roast beef, some
let's see.
chicken.
Some mayonnaise.
I have
some
a
pizza.
railroad update from our favorite locomotive builder.
Oh no.
Malco? Bald
No,
one?
no, Hitachi.
Oh.
They build the vibrators.
It's a back massager.
Okay.
Hitachi unveils their latest version of a maglev.
Oh god, you're serious?
Yes.
Oh no! I was just making a cheap joke.
The new test train will have 2 end cars and an intermediate coach. JR plans to start testing the new train on the Yamanashi line in May. That's a
Eric wants to know your location.
500 kilometer per hour.
Eric, I can
Yeah.
hear Eric screaming in the background right
Yeah,
now.
yeah. Well, he didn't make it on this time. The 500 kilometer per hour production trains will have up to 12 cars with a total length of 300 meters. Yes, that was 500 kilometers per hour. That's like 300 miles an hour in freedom units.
Speed.
Yeah,
It's a lot of fast.
it's really fast.
Speed weed.
They
Hang on. I set down on my volume button.
plan to spend about 3 billion yen, which is about $27.5 million, this year on further testing, developing a maintenance system compatible with commercial operation, improving and commercializing superconducting linear technology, and trying to reduce construction, operation, and maintenance costs. Because these things are cool, but boy are they expensive.
Superconducting technology?
Yes, because that's what you need
Jeez.
for magnets that hold
Oi.
up a train.
Yeah, but jeez.
Yeah.
If they figure out superconductors on this,
I mean, we already have superconductors. They're just not super practical.
we just need a room temperature superconductor.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they're scheduled to open...
I'd imagine they're not going to liquid nitrogen the entire monorail track,
No.
though, so that's, you know.
The Chuo Shinkansen superconducting maglev line is scheduled to open between Tokyo, Shinagawa, and Nagoya by 2027. So, yeah,
Oh wow.
you can
So
ride
that's
a
cool.
you can ride a Hitachi.
Speaking of
Oh,
other
you
things,
Imagine wanting to go to
Imagine wanting to ride a Hitachi.
giggity.
Have you ever had a dream that you
That you
Oh no,
That you
and
could do anything.
then
The
you
kid in that video is adorable. I want to
Backslap.
strangle him.
/slap exclamation mark all.
All right, let's cover some other things before I start talking about the coronavirus again, because I have more of that.
Speaking
All
of
right.
things that
Essex.
fast,
Oh.
well, I guess this isn't going fast because the high-speed rail line that was going to be built in Texas is being canceled. They're saying
Really?
that it. Yeah, they don't want to do it anymore simply because it doesn't have the financial resources or expertise employed to continue with the project, and that it's a inexcusable waste of taxpayer dollars and jeopardizes the integrity of the rule-making process at the Federal Railroad Administration.
Yeah, the state is like, nah. State lawmakers are like, this would be terrible. Can you cancel this? Can you, like, federal government, can you stop them from doing this? Which, I mean, things were going pretty well for them, and then, due to the coronavirus, they had to lay off 28 people because they couldn't do anything.
Yep.
And they were asking for, like, an extension on stuff, on, like, their timelines and stuff like that, and... Yeah, I don't... it's fallen into limbo because of the coronavirus, I guess.
Always is.
Coronavirus.
My town's been talking about re-implementing the old Amtrak station for over a decade now.
Sure. Amtrak, man. Amtrak's got hit. Amtrak has gotten some fun cuts like you would, of course, never expect from Amtrak. Not only have multiple people in the company been successful, or, tested positive for coronavirus, they also have been cutting, they have completely cut dining service for the time being, basically. Traditional dining service has been suspended on all routes with the exception of the auto train through May 31st. Sleeping car customers will be offered what they're calling flexible dining service, and coach customers will be offered cafe service.
Coach customers can go and fuck themselves.
Yeah. Yeah. And, of course, I mean, I can't say it doesn't really make sense because, well, not too many people are taking the train right now. But, of course, the thing in the back of my mind is, oh yeah, temporary, right.
Uh-huh.
Because, yeah, we'll just jump back into doing things the way it was.
Please
this
don't.
Is over.
Because that's how everything's gonna work,
Yeah.
right?
It's just gonna be all hunky-dory.
Yeah, no, it's gonna be, oh, well, it was temporary, but, things were okay.
Well,
so
yes, but actually no.
Yeah, we're not going to restore this service because we don't feel like it. However, Amtrak did get $1 billion in emergency funding to keep running during this whole thing, so I guess there's...
Billion?
$1 billion. With a B.
Wow.
Yeah.
And what did they put that billion to?
Not food service.
Thing.
Not food.
What is it? The Avelia?
Yeah. Well,
it's not the Avelia. I was corrected the other day.
That piece of junk.
I called it the Avelia at the volunteer banquet in front of our FRA guy and a gentleman who works, I think, closely with Siemens, so he's in industry. Yeah.
He does what?
And I called it with the I called it the Avelia and was promptly corrected. It's just the
As a industrial maintenance mechanic,
Wait, what?
Do not get me started, and I repeat, do not get me started on Siemens and my disdain.
Okay.
It's just not like
not
Siemens.
gonna leave that. I'm not gonna.
Okay, let's go. All right.
I will say that
Excuse me.
it's not the Avelia anymore. It's the Acela 2 or the Acela. Get it
Acela
right.
2, electric boogaloo.
Still electric.
Yeah,
Speaking of which,
I thought it was the Avelia.
it was, and now it's not.
Yeah, I think they realized that they were going to have to rebrand everything and do a bunch of marketing if they called it the Avelia, so they just decided that, commuters don't care if it's a different train.
Yeah, I mean,
we're just going to call it the same thing.
They could just call the service. They could still just call the service the Acela Express, call the train set the Avelia, but that's too complicated.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Congress approved the funding last month as part of a $2.2 trillion bill to address the coronavirus. And Amtrak, the funds will help Amtrak maintain service for its passengers when the economy recovers. This is because that daily ridership is down 96%. And future bookings are 95% lower. That's why the Acelas are suspended. About 50% of daily train trips are cut nationwide. And yeah, nobody's going anywhere, which is a good thing, but not a good thing for Amtrak.
I haven't seen an Amtrak train in a while. They cut 5 and 6 from Denver into California. They don't run from Denver to Chicago.
They cut it back because of employees having the coronavirus in Denver.
Yep.
Well,
And the Coast Starlight's running a full length still, so
for some reason.
And
for
oddly
some
enough,
reason.
so is the Southwest Chief.
Oh, but the Zephyr.
I actually haven't looked into the crest.
The Chief is hanging on somehow, despite everything.
Which is ironic.
I'm
because
still in the air!
Yeah.
That's the one they were so they wanted to get rid of so badly.
The chief is like,
Is
I'm
the
not dead
Crescent
yet.
still running? Does anybody know?
The chief is still running because they tried to cut it. Never. No.
Yeah. I will check on the Crescent for you, Einz. Don't look at the map. Let's see. The Crescent, yeah, the Crescent's
Unless
still
you want
there.
to be like Eric.
It's still there.
Say, because the Crescent is an important piece for New Orleans. I remember the years I've ridden it, how many people say it's important to their life.
Hey, there's a Zephyr in Nevada right now, so I guess
Yeah, we have
they've
one.
undone that restriction, at least for now.
I forget, how does news from other people...
Huh?
I got one thing whenever it gets to... It's been a long time since I've watched
Hey, you can pick up the thread wherever you find an opportunity. So
Well, I don't know if it's been discussed, and I don't have a link to it at the time, but...
Speak of
has
things that
anybody
don't even
discussed
soup.
The Hall of Giants that the Texas State Railroad is opening, quote unquote. It has been discussed.
I think it's been mentioned before, but not in a while.
Yeah, we've talked about it.
Well, recently they were supposed to open for spring, but that's kind of thing. There's the Texas State Railroad starting to post pictures of pieces from the Hall of Giants link, which is going to be their 316, 1316, and 610, all in the Palestine shops that you'll get to walk around while they service Tremont and Gulf 30. And currently, everything seems to be going well, but we still haven't got official photos of 316 and what she looks like, so nobody knows if they've restored her to the previous cosmetic condition or in a different scheme altogether in Texas and Pacific or what.
Where are my cheeses?
Nolans.
Nolans.
The 745 is a whole nother basket case, unfortunately.
Is that a brick?
What else have we got?
Tis.
Well, there was a military train that went through Southern California that sent everybody into a panic.
Oh yes, I saw people from my hometown tweeting about
This
that.
has to do with the Mercy. It's all a giant conspiracy.
FEMA train.
Hey, I've got a buddy who works on radio tower in the Netherlands, and he said, and he's been posting new things on it left and right about how people, including towers he's worked on or working on, people have been setting them on fire because 5G.
Yeah.
I still don't get that. Like that's somehow dumber than you can catch coronavirus by eating Chinese food.
It
It is somehow dumber.
Can we just collectively say humans are idiots?
I mean, we knew that already.
Yeah.
Dragon.
I wish I had an idiot to seg into, so somebody else, but I don't, so somebody else is going to have to pick up the slack here.
Speak of idiots.
Who do we want to make fun of today?
I have to find a link.
Oh no.
I ran out of... My only news piece was the DNS thing.
I mean,
do we have a 1309? No, we don't.
we have
No.
This isn't
1309 will never happen.
This isn't idiots, but you can't get there from here. The Downeaster has been suspended for the time being. As well, the Alaska Railroad has pushed their service back. Like their summer service.
To where, Canada?
We're going to wait on that.
Did you guys hear about the Russian plane that was over Alaska? Everyone was freaking about.
No, I did not.
Why aren't we afraid of the Russians?
Because Russia.
I mean,
why is it scary? Like, the Chinese are actual communists. Why are we afraid of the Russians?
I mean, you don't need to be
too.
communist to be an enemy.
That's fair, but
I don't know. I mean, I just heard that everybody
we have a
was
lot in
panicking.
common with the Russians.
Apparently, there was an
extreme corruption.
F-22 that was.
You're saying.
Apparently, there was an F-22 that was just sent off to scare this plane away. I don't know. I don't know. I just heard about. Yeah, I got reminded of it because of Alaska. That's.
I mean, Putin's ex-KGB. He's just reliving the days of the Soviet Union when we used to just send bombers into each other's airspace just to, see how the response time was.
Just Cold War things.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just.
But this
it's
is
just
why.
a Air Force. It's just
Because-
the Air Force.
Everybody-
Because
Everybody's
in Putin's
like-
mind, the Cold War hasn't ended yet.
Yeah.
He is the Cold War.
That's what I'm going. I am the storm.
Because he lives in Russia, so it's cold.
I can see Russia from my backyard.
Okay, actually, TJ, I want you to take this one away because we've been seeing cuts everywhere. We've seen Amtrak cutting service by a significant margin. We've seen a lot of freight carriers slowing down, but not
Right.
So you
this
wanted
one.
him to cut that?
What?
What? Huh?
Huh?
You said you want him to take it away?
I want him to take it away from here. He sees what I highlighted. He's clicking on it.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you
yeah.
meant like actually take it away, as in, cut it.
Yeah, he's my editor now.
About what you just highlighted, I've got possibly a counteraction from some other sources.
Okay. Well, wait, where'd it go?
The Strasbourg. Yeah,
Take it away.
No, not like that.
Well, I have it open though.
Okay, well, I still need it back.
Fine. Here. You say, I got it.
Alright, so tell us about it.
How do I can't read stupid Lancaster online.
Oh,
I can't
God,
read
open
the
the
article
thing.
without logging in.
Okay, well, anyway, I'll just...
I can read through through the thing though, what the headline is. So
Okay.
Strasbourg Railroad, as most people know, is not only an enterprise for steam railroading, but
Wow, jerk yourselves off harder there, guys.
Oh, it's an enterprise.
This is our steam railroading enterprise.
yeah, look, I watched the movie a few times. Okay.
A few dozen times.
Yeah, I've only been there like a couple times.
You're vaguely aware of Strasbourg.
Yeah, I've like heard of it. My friend told me about it.
Yeah, I did. You're welcome.
We got a thing from him.
Oh,
But their
Yeah.
their freight, they also do freight, and their freight revenue has gone up 69%.
Hey.
Nice.
Isn't that sick?
Nice.
Yeah, it's
That's
because
pretty solid.
their main imports are like pet product and food and pet product.
toilet paper.
So they're
Cocaine and cocaine accessory.
yes.
I've actually heard from another source, a guy who works there has said, because he's part of the freight crew, has said that's actually a lie that it's down somehow, but I can't say for certain if
Well, is the article about revenue or traffic?
fair.
If I didn't have to log in, I
Yeah,
would tell
be
you
able to tell.
because it
You
says
see the headline?
It says Strasbourg Railroad, 69% as food and pet product.
Okay, you know what? I could actually see.
auction.
I could actually see more of that. I could see more of it. Hold on.
It says Strasbourg Railroad freight traffic soars as food and pet product. Blah blah blah.
Strasbourg Railroad freight traffic
That's the sound the
soars-
diesel makes.
soars
Yeah, that's what
169%
they
as food and pet product manufacturers boost production. So, that is, what was that? Revenue. Oh no, traffic.
Interesting.
Freight Yard has seen a 169% surge in the number of incoming freight cars since March. Or this March, rather. So, yeah, I mean, that's what's being reported on. Maybe it's not the case, but I feel like that'd be a tough thing to get wrong.
Yeah, that's a very large margin to miss it by
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Well,
No, it's gone down. No, it's increased by almost 200%.
TJ, where else are rail cars getting dropped off?
Yeah. These are a little bit more interesting rail cars, I think. But
Foamer.
Who are you to judge?
from the Ohio Central, the Valley Railroad Company has obtained 3 heritage coaches that they're going to restore and use on the Valley Railroad. So their growth of rolling stock continues.
Yeah. It was kind of
First,
funny.
like a brand new train set of like silver and white and green coaches,
Yeah.
and now these Tuscan red coaches.
Some shiny excommuter
yes.
coaches.
Yeah, but
Previously.
they're gonna repaint them into the green, I think.
Yeah. Well, see, what was neat was, or what was interesting, and it's good that they bought these now, they were running 3 trains, but they only had like 2.5 trains worth of equipment. So they had a train of, 8 cars or 10 cars or whatever, another train of the same length, and then a train of 5 cars. And it's like, that's the small one. They need more of that.
That's the little one.
97, I think, was handling the little one, but 97 can do more. It's not exactly like the line is hilly.
Yeah, they're kind of just like, they don't like to push her too hard, yeah.
Here's piddling.
So, yeah, they're taking those in, and what else is going on?
BNSF bought back a Northwest Montana branch line.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
cool. Why?
Is this the one to Kalispell, or is this a different one?
Yeah, this is the one. This is the Kalispell branch.
Oh, okay.
Why? There's a few new industries that are sprouting up down there in the Glacier Rail Park, and I guess BNSF would rather service them. So they bought this branch back from a Watco company.
See, it's funny because
Cool.
we reported on this a while back, like, hey, the contract is going to expire, and we don't know what's going to happen. I guess what happens is BNSF buys it.
Guess so.
So, yeah, I do have a second article on this. 13-mile rail line between Columbia Falls and Kalispell, which of course holds a special place in my heart, as it should hold in all of our hearts because of Microsoft Train Simulator.
Microsoft Train Sim.
Just looking at the, I can see vividly the picture of the profile for Mariah's Pass, because I stared at that for quite a while as a kid, just like looking at the profile of the grades.
Oh, yeah. How it would show you the route and the height map.
Mm-hmm.
I do too.
I ended up using that. I actually saw it again recently because I ended up using it as the cover for the pass, and I went back to reread part of that book because I was like, I can't remember what I wanted to get at. Oh, I wanted to read the Battle Classics. But anyway, what else have we done? Or what else have not we done? Other people. Actually, TJ tandem me on this. Green Coast released another thing. So that's the second digital release. He released a U4A, which is Canadian. It's Indiana Harbor built.
This giant
U4A, the Super Switcher. Yeah.
Yeah, the Super Switcher. Yeah, this is a funky looking...
Switchicus Maximus!
Yeah.
Did this actually exist?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's...
frightening.
bonkers.
Well, actually,
Why
I'm
is
not
that
gonna
like
spoil
that?
anything, but just wait and see. He's got plenty in store. Like I said, I'm good friends with Legend 5550, or Union, as I knew him as.
So, and what else has been released, TJ?
Yeah, the lot of stuff starting to come out in the digital sphere.
Everybody has nothing to do.
Exactly. KL Trains has released Casino K2 Mikado,
which is a very iconic machine, and I was happy to see because those small the compressors on the front are well known in photography.
I clicked on that link and it started to play the video, and it just started to play the advertisement, and that got in the podcast. So now it just says Little Red Riding Hood.
Nice. Did it say it like Lynn?
It was
Little Red Riding Hood.
Not exactly like Lynn.
Well,
Oh my god, he sounds just like that. He does sound like that. Heber also got an open air car. There's a video of them receiving it, I believe.
With terrible music.
With terrible, terrible music. So, brace your ears. And I have two more things, one of which I've been sitting on for a while. There was a study that was redone for the Lackawanna cutoff, which dropped the cost significantly because, well, not because it's gotten any cheaper, but because they lowered the scope. The new study is solely on the cost of reinstalling the tracks, and not anything beyond that. Reinstalling 21 miles of missing track, and restoring the track on either side, upgrading the viaduct, and just some other fairly basic things. But they basically said, without the track, obviously, we can't run trains, so we're going to focus on just doing this right now and just budget for just this right now, because once the track is in place, we can actually do something with it. Whereas trying to take on the whole thing as one huge investment is just too much. People aren't going for it, and the project is not going anywhere. And in terms of passenger trains that are currently running, this is more COVID stuff. The MTA, which is the New York City subway, has 20 times as many cases as it had 2 weeks ago. There are over 5,500 employees in self-quarantine and 33 dead. So, if you didn't have enough of a reason to not go out if you don't need to, people are dying. It's not, just because you don't know someone who has doesn't mean this isn't serious.
Yes, because you can be a carrier long before it. The only problems that's going to come with this all is that I'm worried about small businesses like model shops. I mean, I don't have any local model shops, but I get most of my materials from old ma and pa shops that have gone online, and that gets me worried about this because they're hurting, especially in places like Michigan.
Word is Caboose may never reopen, and if they do reopen, it's just going to be to liquidate inventory.
Jeez.
Yep. Especially, and they've been broke into. Caboose Hobbies was broke into over Easter as well.
Oh,
Were
man.
they?
Yeah, they posted it on
about
Facebook.
that.
You can
Yeah,
look
this
it up.
giant rabbit busted in and left eggs everywhere.
Oh no, but seriously, somebody actually busted into Caboose Hobbies. I literally was just earlier on their Facebook page.
But why? There's nothing to steal.
I don't know, but somebody busted in through the front door and wrecked the place.
There's not much to wreck.
I know.
Well,
things like that because
I've got a theory on that, but I'm not going to say it on the podcast.
Oh, insurance fraud?
No, well, I'm not going to say it.
I'm not going to say it on the podcast, but if we guess it...
But yeah, but if Heinz
Right,
just
real
guesses it outright, then I'm still not going to say it.
I'm sorry, but I mean, I've been involved with a lot of law enforcement stuff, so...
Anyway, if we're talking about places that are going to need funding to get back on their feet, the Austin Steam Train Association is asking people to donate towards their fundraiser.
Austin, Texas?
Is that Austin, Texas?
If I could say, what steam locomotive do they have?
I heard Austin and or Boston, and I was like,
No,
wait,
Austin.
neither of these places have a locomotive.
No,
I'm
it's
thinking say.
the Austin Steam Train Association. I'm not sure which Austin that is, but...
Yeah, can you find out what Austin that is? Because I've never heard of a steam locomotive in Austin. They
don't seem to have a steam locomotive.
Well, then why are they called...
Because they're very hopeful. Why was the Wiscasset in Quebec called that?
Why was the Akron, Canton, and Youngstown called the Akron, Canton, and Youngstown?
Exactly.
Or the Tremont and Gulf called the Tremont and Gulf?
The
Why is it called Union Pacific?
railroad has gone down to bare
Because they
bones.
unionized and then took everything.
I mean,
Yeah, so loss of ticket sales, quickly running out of cash, and they're asking for donations to stay afloat. And they are one of many in a very similar situation. And it would...
Yeah, I fear that not only with the drop, now this goes on a different subject, but because I see it a lot, not only with the drop with the events such as Day Out with Thomas and so on at Railroad Museum, with this coronavirus, I fear that after this is all over, there are many museums that are going to have to A, liquidate collection, or B, close down permanently.
Yeah.
There will be several. And so, folks, anybody who's listening to this, if you can, donate to your local museums, help them out. I'm lucky with my... I don't know how many know this, but my town's very involved with aeronautics, and we have a General Chenault museum because he was born and raised here. And we were lucky with that big tornado that just swept through and literally wiped out the whole airport right next to the collection and the museum. The museum completely untouched, but the warehouse right behind it was completely wiped out by the tornado. So it's a miracle that survived. But if you can, folks,
That was close.
donate.
Yeah.
I know it's hard to donate time depending on your state, but try and help out at your local museums if you can, or donate money even, just because after this is all over, there's no telling what all we'll have left.
You're just making stir fry in the next apartment, and it smells delicious.
I'm sorry if I'm getting too somber, guys.
Sometimes this podcast is somber.
Well, because I'm the wacky dude, yippee, skippy
we know.
fellow.
Sometimes we talk about Floridians getting massacred by...
Oh, you know what?
Land.
That is a really good point. We don't have any of those today.
Oh, no.
We don't have any of those today.
Oh, yeah. We don't have any meth heads getting wiped out by yellow ding-dong.
Yeah.
They're not all meth heads.
No, they're just all Floridians.
Yeah, Floridians are something else. At least they're not Balkamites.
If you're from Florida, I'm sorry.
That's racist.
I'm not apologizing to you for what we've said. I'm just sorry you're from Florida.
No. Okay, an explanation for anybody who doesn't know. You can even look it up on the Urban Dictionary what a Balkamite is. But Balkamites
the most reputable of sources.
Fair point, but no. But Balkamite is a term commonly used around here for people from Balkamville, which is a segment of Brownsville, which in of itself is a segment of West Monroe. Balkamville is well known for meth heads and jacked up trucks and missing teeth.
Yes. Yes. Enslaved the South.
Right. So, that's what a Balkamite is. It's a very common used term down here.
I see. Alright, what else have we got before we round up the show today?
I'm struggling to put a K-28 smoke box together.
TJ, I see you have one.
Lego.
Oh, Lego. That's boring.
Yes. Oh, yes, I do.
So we're going this way.
This is a railroad doing a good thing.
Yes, this is a railroad doing a good thing that really isn't that related to trains. Like it kind of is, but it's not. It's just a good deed.
Is this the fill the baggage car?
Yes.
Yep.
The Colebrookdale Railroad is
Grandma car.
They are doing the Grandma Car food drive. It says you don't even have to leave your house to make a donation. All food donations can be made through the Amazon Smile wish list. And then you can ship them to the railroad and they pack a car full of food.
Which is awesome.
For the children.
They should have expanded this a little bit to include toilet paper. Anyway.
No, they're too busy hoarding that for themselves.
I'm going to buy all of it and then I'm going to jack up the price. Then I'm going to sell it on eBay. Only slightly used.
Oh, man. Ew.
I did say only slightly.
It might be a little yellow.
Ugh.
Might
Only
be
slightly. I wiped off my counters with it. Oh, okay.
Oh. And then I wiped my ass.
You don't tell them that until after they buy it.
Till they touch it.
Yeah.
Oh, why is this one a different damn it.
That's because it's been used.
It has been used.
Alright, well, we had a lot less news than we're used to having because this one was actually more or less on time. So that means we're rounding out the end of the show here, and it also means that it's time for the latest train on Amtrak. Yes, there are still trains on Amtrak, believe it or not. So, with that in mind, what does everybody think is the latest train on Amtrak?
Northbound Acela.
Preston.
Thanks, but there are none of those. Which crescent, northbound or southbound?
Southbound.
Southbound crescent.
Okay.
Bible, do you have an actual guess?
Hell, why not? Let's go for the westbound Zephyr.
Westbound Zephyr.
Right.
All right. TJ or TBA?
Also my guess.
You
I was
both
going to
are-
guess westbound
you both
Zephyr.
are going for the westbound
beforehand.
Zephyr? All right, cool.
That was my choice, and I'm sticking to it.
All right. TBA?
Eastbound Empire Builder.
Eastbound Empire Builder. I haven't seen many Empire Builders on the map, but they're all here today. So, let's start with that. Eastbound Empire... Wait, to Everett. What the heck is up with these Empire Builders? They have strange
Is it only running to Everett now?
schedules. They're not going, like... Some of them aren't going all the way to Chicago. Or I
You
guess
said there was a Zephyr in Nevada?
yeah,
Can
alright,
you
so...
check-
There's
can you
weird,
see if it's
there's
coming
weird
all the way
things
to
happening. I need to figure out
Emeryville?
where these guys are. So,
No, yeah, I think they restricted the service.
westbound is odd numbers. So, which Empire Builder do you want?
The eastbound. That
Eastbound.
would be...
Okay, so we've got number
number
8
two?
going eastbound. It's 20 minutes
Oh.
late.
Oof.
That is, and there's another one that's 5 minutes early. So that's not great. The Zephyr.
Well-
Let's see. We've got 4 Zephyrs on the system. The
Yeah,
west.
you said there were Zephyrs in...
Yeah, there's
in
one in
Nevada.
Nevada right now.
Are they all... Are they going to Emeryville?
Yeah.
What?
So
okay,
they're
so
back.
I guess they're back. Might have to go see Amtrak tomorrow.
There are 2 on their way to Emeryville right now. One is 14 minutes late and one is 19 minutes late. Those are not the latest train on Amtrak. Just to throw these 2 out there, the Sunset Limited going to New Orleans is almost there and it's an hour and 33 minutes late. And the Tex Eagle to Chicago is an hour and 41 minutes late. The northbound crescent, the southbound crescent is 3 hours and 25 minutes late.
Ouch.
But it is not the latest train on Amtrak. Heinz, you were very close. Because the northbound crescent is 4 hours and 23 minutes late. And it is the latest train on Amtrak. The auto train's also 2 hours late.
What number is the auto train?
Auto train is 52 and 53.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, 52 and 53. There aren't any others that are super late. Oh, there is another Sunset Limited that's an hour and 20 minutes late, but that's about it. Via
What's
Rail
the
basically
latest
isn't
train on
happening
Via?
right now.
Oh.
There are like 3 trains on Via right now. One is on time, and the other 2 is a 47 minutes late and a 7 minutes late. And those are both the Hudson Bay service, so, man, that's kind of strange. I did have another article that was like Via is screening passengers for COVID. Like, you get tested before you board. So,
Damn.
I thought it took 2 weeks before a test came.
Well, it's okay
No, it's
because
like a
it
couple
usually
days.
takes...
Exactly, that's why Via's so late.
I know, Via's always hella late.
there are some, like, more experimental tests that are pretty quick, if I recall.
I think there's one that
Oh
takes
god,
Breathalyzer
the
test.
howl. The howl has happened.
The Howl?
Do you guys not have this? People at like sunset will just go out on their balconies and howl to each other across the city.
No, we don't have that.
That's a you thing.
Really?
Yeah.
We're all right. So these are my lunatics. Great. This has been going on for a few weeks now.
Well, I guess you get a little crazy up in quarantine.
It's like let's howl at each other.
Let me
Why?
reorganize
I don't know.
You organize these. Alright, so that comes to the end of our show here. Yeah, okay, I need to come up with a termination, but Einz, you go first. You have 2
What's a
points.
good termination? Be safe out there, everyone. Stay safe. Worry about your family, your friends. But remember, listen to your local law, but don't get too carried away with whatever you're doing.
And be careful because they could always, shuttle you away to a FEMA camp.
Mm-hmm.
Or shove you onto one of the government conspiracy mercy ships.
Exactly.
Hmm.
FEMA boat. Well, what's your termination? Is it ow?
Yeah, sure. Oh.
I think I go next. Yeah.
Little pupper doesn't know woo.
I would like.
Wait, what
to
did I get a point for?
I don't remember. It was a bad pun, I think. It was towards the beginning of the show.
Oh.
What did I get a point for?
You get a point for
Playing
praising
games.
the oval. That's what I give you a point for.
Oh, ha.
He got points because I saw him playing games.
Oh, shame. You should have called him out so we could all shame him in the moment.
Well, I'm playing
I'm
with
too
the
nice.
Guys in the other Discord
Shame.
right now.
You're still playing games.
Stormworks.
You're still playing
games in the
games.
podcast. Shame. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, check out. Actually, you know what? I'll just post a link to the episode of Well, There's Your Problem that talks about the derailment in Los Angeles, because people deserve to check out this podcast. Their audience is larger than ours, so I wish they could give us a shout out in return, but that's not going to happen. So I'll just spread the good word of this podcast.
Good word good.
There's your problem. Honestly, they are a pretty fun bunch. TJ? Oh, TJ's,
Yes.
Okay, what's your
I'm
termination?
not dead.
I thought you were gonna yell that.
T-Jiggle.
No.
T-Juge.
My termination is I don't know. Just keep on keeping on.
Keep moving forward.
Keep moving
We have to
forward.
survive quarantine. TBA?
I'd like to point out that we lost a great voice actor not too long ago due to COVID.
Yeah.
Rick May, the voice actor for Soldier in Team Fortress 2, passed away.
Godspeed, you magnificent bastard.
You were good, son. Real good. Maybe even the best. So rest in peace, Rick May.
Yeah. But, I mean, he was 87. He lived a good life. It's the same thing my grandfather has decided.
Shut up.
That,
Yeah.
my grandfather...
Terminations are terminating.
Oh.
So, alright, well, thanks everyone for tuning into this podcast and coming along. And, make Johnny. And we hope to see you guys again in a couple of weeks. Bye-bye!
Bye!